Hi there. Shooters will never go out of style. This genre has been one of the most popular throughout the entire history of video games, and it remains so to this day. And nothing is likely to change in the near future, as some amazing projects are about to be released. In this video, I'll talk about the most exciting shooters set to come out this year. For a while, I'll have to pause the giveaways. I want to make some changes, but that requires time and financial resources. In any case, I'll continue to leave keys from developers in the description under each video, so stay tuned and enjoy watching. I'll start with Neo Berlin 2087, an action RPG with elements of a shooter and detective thriller. The game is set in a grim future version of Berlin, where technological advancements and cyberization have divided society into two classes. The rich rule the city, while the poor struggle to survive in the slums and dangerous wastelands outside its borders. Players take on the role of a detective investigating a massive conspiracy involving artificial intelligence and moral dilemmas. One of the standout features of the game is the ability to switch between first and third-person perspectives and customize the character's abilities and weapons to suit your playstyle. The developers promise a cinematic experience with a non-linear narrative where the player's decisions will influence the unfolding events. Dying Light: The Beast, an independent adventure set in the Dying Light universe. Once again, we meet Kyle Crane, the legendary hero of Heron, who escapes captivity after 13 years of brutal experiments. The story takes place in a forest, a former tourist hotspot now overrun by zombies and hostile factions. The protagonist must not only seek revenge on his tormentors, but also uncover a deeper conspiracy threatening the survivors. The game retains its signature parkour and dynamic combat with firearms and melee weapons. The new location offers diverse biomes and dangers, including a mysterious creature that has turned the forest into its hunting grounds. Additionally, the game supports a 4-player co-op mode. Exoborne, a tactical open-world shooter with survival elements. The game is set in a post-apocalyptic United States transformed by extreme natural events. Players take on the role of a fighter in an exoskeleton, exploring a dynamic world full of warring factions and other players. The main goal is to gather resources, craft equipment, and survive in constant danger. The developers promise a deep crafting system that allows players to create and modify weapons and armor, as well as a strategic approach to combat, where the environment and enemy behavior play a key role. The game world will be packed with events and missions that impact the storyline and relationships with various factions. Paradise, a free-to-play life simulation game with an open world. The game offers endless opportunities to interact with the environment, realistic graphics, and advanced artificial intelligence. Players can explore a vast world, participate in various activities such as racing, shootouts, and completing daily missions, as well as purchase real estate and luxury items. Special attention is given to character customization and their interaction with the environment, ensuring a unique gaming experience for each player. The game supports both single-player and multiplayer modes, allowing players to team up with friends for cooperative play or compete against each other. Industria 2, the sequel to the atmospheric first-person shooter that immerses players in a dark world of alternate reality. The developers promise to expand the game's universe with new locations, weapons, and a deeper storyline. Players can expect challenging puzzles and intense battles requiring a tactical approach. Visually, the game aims to impress with realistic landscapes and detailed models, creating an engaging atmosphere. Arc Raiders, a cooperative third-person action shooter. The game takes place in a post-apocalyptic world where humanity is forced to live underground due to threats from robotic enemies. Players must team up to fight mechanical foes and other players, gather resources, and survive in harsh conditions. The game features a diverse arsenal of weapons and equipment, along with the ability to modify gear to adapt to various situations. Killing Floor 3. The iconic shooter series returns. Once again, players will take on hordes of bioengineered monsters using powerful guns and natural aim skills. The game can be played solo or in co-op mode. The story is set in 2091, where players join a rebel group to stop a megacorporation. Humanity's fate hangs in the balance, as always. Most importantly, the levels in this installment promise to be atmospheric and captivating, the monsters numerous, and the gunplay satisfying for any shooter fan. Covenant, a shooter with RPG elements developed by an independent studio. The game is set in a dark fantasy world where players take on the role of demon hunters striving to free the land from darkness. It combines dynamic gunfights with deep storytelling and character development. The developers promise a non-linear plot with numerous branching paths shaped by player decisions. A variety of enemies and bosses will require diverse tactics and strategies. Visually, the game is also expected to be impressive. Jump Ship, an innovative shooter platformer offering a fresh experience in a sci-fi setting. The game combines elements of classic platformers with modern shooter mechanics, delivering a unique gameplay experience. Players control a character capable of moving between different spaceships, fighting enemies, and overcoming obstacles. The standout feature is its visual style, inspired by retrofuturism, with vibrant colors and original level designs. The game promises to provide a fresh take on the shooter genre, blending nostalgic and innovative gameplay elements. Steel Hunters. This will be a free-to-play shooter. The game takes place on a post-apocalyptic Earth, where players control powerful mechs called Hunters, competing for a valuable resource known as Starfall. The main mode involves 6 teams of 2 players each, competing against each other and the environment for resources and survival. The game offers a variety of mechs with unique abilities and weapons, allowing players to adapt their playstyle to their preferences. Atomfall, a shooter with survival elements from the developers of the Sniper Elite series. The game is set in an alternate version of the 1960s, where a nuclear disaster has turned much of northern England into a radioactive wasteland. Players take on the role of an unnamed character suffering from amnesia, exploring dangerous territories, fighting mutants, cultists, and robots, and uncovering the secrets of what happened. The gameplay combines first-person shooting and survival mechanics, requiring players to gather resources, craft weapons, and manage health and heart rate. The game features a non-linear narrative with multiple paths and choices that affect the story's progression. Judas, a new shooter set in a sci-fi universe. The game takes place on a spaceship transporting the last survivors from Earth to a planet in the Proxima Centauri system. An accident occurs on board, involving the main character who has lost her memory. Her goal is to uncover the truth behind the catastrophe and survive on the deteriorating ship. The gameplay and combat system resemble BioShock. The protagonist can wield firearms in one hand and activate implants with the other, allowing her to shoot electricity or set enemies on fire. A key feature of the game is a system that adapts the plot based on player choices. Borderlands 4. A new adventure awaits on an unexplored planet. The story unfolds on the planet Kairos, where the heroes find themselves after a spaceship crash. They decide to lead a rebellion against a ruthless dictator and his army. Borderlands 4 will retain its traditional looter-shooter gameplay with RPG elements and a first-person perspective. The developers promise to remove loading screens, creating a seamless open world. New mechanics include a grappling hook for movement. The game can be played solo or in a 4-player co-op mode. Gears of War E-Day. Every installment of the Gears of War series has advanced the story of humanity's struggle against hostile mutants. The new game will be the first to focus on the events of the past, the day the Locust Horde first appeared on the planet Sera. The release is expected in 2025, though the exact date is unknown. The plot centers on Coalition soldiers caught in the chaos caused by the Locust invasion. Gameplay details are scarce, but the game is expected to retain the third-person cover-based shooter style. The developers plan to reintroduce horror elements from the earlier games, creating a darker and more intense atmosphere. Single-player and co-op modes are also expected. Doom: The Dark Ages. The third installment of Doom following the franchise reboot in 2016. The developers have already hinted that the upcoming game will be significantly different from the hyperdynamic Doom Eternal and its expansions. The Dark Ages is set to be a darker game with a completely revamped combat system, where shooting will be just as important as melee weapons and shields. The story will explore the early days of the Doomslayer's battle against demonic forces in a techno-medieval universe that blends elements of fantasy and science fiction. The game will feature new weapons, new enemy types, and diverse locations for players to explore. The world of gaming is vast, and this is just a glimpse of it. See you in the next one. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button. The Image Game channel was with you. Have a nice day.